President Vladimir Putin said he will revise his nuclear policy. Now, this came right after the president of America, right now, Biden, has allowed Ukraine to hit Russia with US-made weapon that goes as far as in the territory of Russia. It's following this, President Putin said he will revise his nuclear policy. Now, here is what came out from, let me just check this with you. Putin's new nuclear doctrine: it is my arsenal and I will strike if I want to. Now, in a new analysis, expert William Alberg says Putin's new nuclear doctrine says that any nation aligned with a nuclear state or any state receiving assistance from any nuclear state or state aligned with a nuclear state, that is all of NATO, can be the target of nuclear weapons if Russia feels threatened. And that's exactly what Russia felt after Kremlin has been able to send that missile that goes right into the heart of Russia's territory. Now, before I dive into the article, I really wanted to make it clear that when this war started almost 3 years ago or 2.5 years before, what was there is that the starting point for the Russia was actually there was an agreement between NATO and Mikhail Gorbachev in the 1990s, after also the German unification, that there will be not an inch of expansion to Russia's territory or to Russia. There's no interest of NATO expanding to Russia. Let me just, put it down this, and I'm going to share. There is a document that says that, look. Now, this Vladimir Putin saying this, let's finish that, and I'm going to share with you that document, okay? Russian President Vladimir Putin signed Russia's new nuclear doctrine on November 19, just days after US President Joe Biden's decision to allow Ukraine to strike Russian territory with US-made weapons. The timing of its publication surely is intended to send a message of displeasure to the West about this decision, as well as a larger anger around Western support for Ukraine in general. It also becomes a context of talks around amongst the P5, the nuclear weapon states defined in the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the US, UK, France, Russia, and China, all of them the permanent seats holders in the United Nations Security Council. Now, these were scheduled earlier to discuss nuclear doctrine, but delayed by Russia and now back on the calendar. However, the contents of the document should not shock those paying attention. In truth, the changes obtained in the doctrine are consistent with longer-term shifts in Russian public messaging about its nuclear. Now, the thing is that, Russia is coming up with this message because of what Ukraine did or what Kremlin did, launching that missile to Russia's territory. So let me just share this document with you. Look, this document, so this is NATO expansion, what Gorbachev heard. Declassified documents show security assurances against NATO expansion to Soviet leaders from Baker, Bush, Genscher, Kohl, Getz, Mitterrand, Thatcher, Heard, Major, and Werner. Slavic Studies Panel address who promised what to whom on NATO expansion. Now, this is U.S. Secretary of State James Baker, famous, in quotation, not 1 inch eastward. Assurance about NATO expansion in his meeting with Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev on February 9, 1990, was a part of a cascade of assurances about Soviet security given by Western leaders to Gorbachev and other Soviet officials throughout the process of German unification in 1990 to 1991, according to declassified US, Soviet, German, British, and French documents posted today by the National Security Archive at George Washington University. So that was a promise given to Russia at that time. So that's where Russia departs, including Ukraine, into to become a part of NATO, is what, why it is opposing it. So this is how this whole war between Ukraine and Russia started. So possibly, actually, mainstream like Al Jazeera is saying that Putin is saying this might lead to a world war. And the US seems on its part that President Biden, which is a going out president, do not seem the damage that they're doing, in again prolonging this Ukraine-Russia war. It's like, the drowning man is not troubled by the rain. So they just want to leave more chaotic situation, meaning the Democrats in the Ukraine-Russia war, and it does not seem that they are looking for any solution to it, allowing Ukraine or approving to use that missile, which is a US-made weapon, is something that is pulling also Russia for a next reaction to this, because I believe that they're not really hoping that Russia will just sit hand folded and see what's happening. So there's definitely a reaction to it. So, I mean, you look what's happening, the trade war between US and China. Look what's happening, the trade war between EU and China. EU is like, as they say, it's like the backyard of the United States. Whatever US do, it will just repeat it. So, and, hoping that the US will cover EU in terms of security. So when they add those additional tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles, China also said that they will add tariffs and apply the same thing what they're doing. And this is the same thing. I mean, you want to stop the war, or just you want to leave it more chaotic, more, again, more killing of people. That seems the interest of, or the goal of, the US, or the West, led by the United States. Anyways, let us know, in the comment section, what do you think of, where do you think this will lead? Do you think really President Vladimir Putin will revise its nuclear policy, and for what, and how it's going to apply? It's all really so, I don't know, scary. Let us know in the comment section. Thanks again for tuning in. That was it for now, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.